So let us hear how Southwest people are feeling concerning the replacement of Abba Kyari. Southwest politician raises dust over the emergence of Kingibe as Abba Kyari's replacement. From the day Abba Kyari was confirmed of contracting the novel coronavirus, speculations was rife over his potency of surviving the COVID-19 as the virus is reputable on its success with senior citizens. And barely a month that it became a public knowledge as reputable mainstream medias like CNBC Africa reported on the 24th of March that the Nigerian president right-hand man tested positive to COVID-19. He succumbed to the virus. Abba Kyari's position as the chief of staff to the president and as his long-time ally wielded an undue influence on the presidency. This was further cemented with when the president in August 2019 informed his ministerial cabinet that all requests of meeting with him should be channeled to his chief of staff. Conspiracy theorists had it that Abba Kyari was the de facto president of Nigeria and that the president's fragility hinged on his health issues had made that a necessity. From the time Abba Kyari tested positive, political pundits and some sections of the media started hushing over his possible replacement or a potential stand in for him as he is to be quarantined for treatment to enable him to fight the COVID-19 and perchance if the worst happens, who could possibly deserve the privilege and the influence that his office had. One name was always coming up in such discussions, and that was that of Baba Gana Kingibe, the running mate of the late MKO Abiola during the famous June 12th Nigeria election. Now, as Malam Abba Kyari, the illustrious elder statesman, passed on and was led to rest on 18th of April, speculations arrived over who succeed him as the seat can't remain vacant for long. An APC faithful and current special advisor to Lagos State Governor on drainage and water resources has raised his voice against Baba Gana Kingibe's emergence as Kyari's replacement, saying, "Is anyone considering Baba Gana Kingibe to succeed the late Abba Kyari as COS? Please read this. History is my witness." Baba Gana Kingibe has been deceiving the world that he left his position as vice president to the late Chief MKO Abiola to serve as Minister of Internal Affairs to Abacha in the national interest. This is a blatant lie from the pit of hell. On page 59 and 60 in my book, Heroes of Democracy, published in 1999, I wrote this. He boldly stated on his Facebook page and followed it with an excerpt from his book that he wrote decades ago on the June 12th saga and how Kingibe betrayed his own mandate with Abiola on the basis of his ill-perceived belief in the northern supremacy. General Abacha did more damage to June 12 in the formation of his cabinet, but the damage was more on the side of few pillars June 12 who accepted to serve in the Abacha regime. They are Chief Olu Onoguruwa, Chief Ebenezer Babatokwe, Alhaji Rimi Abubakar, Alhaji Latif Jakonde, Dr. Iyocha Ayu, and Alex Ibru. But the greatest assault on June 12 was perfected by Ambassador Baba Gana Kingibe, Chief Abiola's running mate. Kingibe's coup on Abiola and June 12 remains the greatest betrayal the struggle suffered, and Ambassador Kingibe will for a lifetime continue to explain why he did what he did. Kingibe's action of abandoning his post as vice president-elect to accept to serve as minister portrayed him as agent provocateur and a spoiler. When Kingibe declared his intention to run for the highest office in the land towards the end of 1992, he invited media executives in Lagos to seek their support. Kingibe stunned the media executives into disbelief when he told them that it is unrealistic for any Southerner to seek the highest office because a Southerner can never win a presidential election in Nigeria. So even when Kingibe accepted to be Abiola's running mate, he had never believed that Chief Abiola will emerge victorious on a June 12, 1993. He had thought, like Babangida, that Bashar Tofa will win. My letter to Kingibe was published in the Punch of April 22nd, 1994, and you can find it on page 60 of Heroes of Democracy. This outburst from Chief Joe Igokwe is more than mere rhetoric, as he is known to have years of APC chieftains in Lagos State, and for him drawing the public attention to Kingibe's role in betrayal of MKO Abiola's June 12 mandate at this time is a positive signal of their body language to the matter arising. Chief Joe Igbokwe to be raising this alarm is being believed now that the emergence of Kingibe to the position of Chief of Staff will be a strong spanner in the wheels of the machinations of this revered APC national leader and Southwest political lord Bola Ahmed Tinubu's ambition to occupy the Aso Rock seat come 2023. So guys, the issue now is that Kingibe, a lot of people are now coming out to say, no, Kingibe, they know what he did in the past, the role he played in the past, the comments he made in the past, what he stands for. And I think at some point, nobody wanted to even talk anything about him, since he's not even coming out to vie for any position, since they believe what he stands for. So I think the people just believe that there was no point for them to be talking about him since he's not coming out. But now that his name has started ringing from Buhari's cabinet again, that he might be appointed, or whether he's been appointed or is the one to be appointed as the chief of staff to the president, everybody's now coming out to say what they know about him. I could remember his name rang again when Buhari gave a, tried to, I don't know the kind, whether it was a award or whatever, about Abiola. That was last year, or 2018, before the election. And everybody was like, oh, he was trying to use it to buy the Yoruba so that they'll be able to vote for him, trying to recognize June 12 and all of those stuff. That was when King Imbe's name started ringing again, and people tried to talk the role he played as a then. And at that point, people just forgot about the whole thing. But now that what happened now has happened to Abba Kyari, his name is coming up again. And remember, recently, Fani Kayode has come out to tell the whole world who exactly Kingibe is. He narrated everything, which I did a video. You can watch that. What's is being said about Kingibe. He said many things about Kingibe. All of a sudden, again, we are hearing from Igbokwe, Joe Igbokwe, who is a politician, APC, big words. I mean, what do they call them? Big wig in Lagos State. That, oh, he has said one or two things about this man, that this man does not fit to vie for any position or to replace Abba Kyari because of the role he played. And one thing that these people don't understand is that whatever you are going to say, you are not the one, Nigerians are not the one to select or elect a ÇEØS, the chief of staff, to the president. It's the president that has that power to do that, and they should address all their whatever to the president. And from what we've had, is a very close person to the president. So everybody knows that he will always do what he wants to do based on his antecedents. He does not listen to people. So I think all of them are in APC, apart from Fani Kayode, who is a PDP man. Of course, that one just made it just for Nigerians to know the kind of person Kingibe is, according to him. But for Joe Igbokwe to be telling us this, I think he should be able to address this to their father, who is Buhari. They all know themselves. Because if Buhari believes in Kingibe, who are they to say anything? If he believes in him, there is nothing anybody can do about it. You can be telling Nigerians, if only the person wants to go for elective position that will involve the masses, the citizens, to vote, that is when they can now, like, okay, let us even know or find out more about a Kingibe. So, but from all indications, it's like a Joe Igbokwe is trying to be the mouth, to be the speaker of the Southwest Of course, all of these people, they know how to play their politics, because as we speak now, the way Nigerians are viewing or are seeing the position of COS is like it's bigger. Not Nigerians saying it. The way they have made Nigerians to see the position of the COS, it's like it's bigger than the position of the vice president, because the vice president is just like the position now is like it's nothing, because that is what this government is trying to make it seem, because Abba Kyari was so powerful. The president himself is the one that made the position so powerful. Everybody's just talking about the COS, and what have you. And for the fact that the president said anybody who wants to see him or you want to tell him anything, you channel all your whatever to the chief of staff before they can see him, which is not supposed to be. It's supposed to be the other way around. Maybe the person of the vice president should have been the this thing. That was argued before now, and they didn't listen to anybody. So Chief Igbokwe, if he's speaking, I don't think he needs to come out and be telling Nigerians. He should just go straight to Buhari, because the Buhari is the one that will appoint him. So this whole thing is neither here nor there. That is just my own opinion. Someone says here that disclaimer: Igbo Kwe is not an Igbo man and does not represent the views of the Igbos. He speaks for his paymasters, Tinubu and Southwest. We Igbos disowned him long ago. And someone says, how many of you are deceiving yourself? Even how many Igbo personalities know you as a person before talking about Igbokwe who can feed you and your family? Ogapakwe, feed who? That Igbokwe of a guy is just a happy slave. Someone says, and now the Southwesterners want to use an Igbo man to voice out their disapproval of a Malam Kingibe and drawing more enemies to himself and making the chief perpetrators of good guys. Igbo, wake up. The Yoruba thought that the Northerners loved them. What the Igbo saw sitting down, the other tribes in Nigeria are yet to see it while standing on top of the roof. Why are they complaining? Oh, they suddenly realized that they don't enter one chance for Abuki, and na them go second base Jari. Okay, now then they na second base Jari. Okay, Igbos that are complaining, can they tell us that President Jonathan done what he did for them? Our Southeastern. I pity that man Joe Igbokwe. He played in the middle of his enemy. So Southwest want to use Igbokwe to confront North. Why won't they use their Yoruba person? Of course, not them there. Like somebody said, this man Igbokwe has made his stand known with the Igbos. So the person that said they've disowned him, even this Igbokwe does not even believe in the Igbos. So they should just continue with whatever they want to. But in my opinion, let them just direct their complaint to Buhari, because Buhari is the one that has the power to elect or to select the chief of staff. So guys, let us hear your opinion concerning this. Leave your comment below and let's have your take.